That's kind of really where we're working. So inbound versus outbound, certainly it's the way to go. And certainly what this whole webinar is about, although we're going to look at a whole bunch of stuff around that. The inbound methodology is basically which HubSpot, the marketing automation platform, supports, is around these four key areas of marketing today. So attracting, that's bringing people across. So from strangers, bringing them across to your website, then converting them into visitors through forms and call to actions and landing pages. And then from leads, closing them then through email and workflows, and very focused on their buying channels that they're going through, and being able to give them the right content at the right time to obviously target it to the right people. Then finally, remembering the last part of the four, which is delighting. We need to then make sure that these customers become brand ambassadors for our company, so that they then go out there and tell more people, and you do that by delighting them, and that's through things like social inbox and smart content. The HubSpot platform has all of these features all in one particular platform, and that's what we're going to be showing you today, is how HubSpot can bring all this together. The kind of confusion, if you like, of marketing in this modern digital way that we live nowadays, and this landscape that's changing and ever changing and continuing to change, and how HubSpot can actually make that for you. So the inbound marketing software, we're going to be looking at a few different things. So just to cover off inbound marketing and HubSpot, how it all ties together, which we're going through now. Social media integration. Obviously, social media is a challenge for a lot of brands and companies today to be across multiple channels, to really engage with an audience through social media. We're then going to take a look under the hood of this great platform, HubSpot, show you the workings and sort of touch on the surface. Further webinars that we will be doing in the near future will actually focus on different elements of the particular features under the hood. But today we're going to give you a complete overview of the power of HubSpot. And then finally, how it all comes together with analytics, which is very important nowadays to understand what is the return on investment from the marketing dollar that you're putting out there and the time that you're investing. So we'll look at your marketing dashboard, how that can become so important to you, and then how APIs can connect HubSpot to your existing platforms, whether you're using other CRMs or sales tools or other different pieces of software. We'll show you how HubSpot integrates with those, so you almost have one complete solution across the whole board. So the first thing is inbound marketing and HubSpot. So in a nutshell, this is a kind of a infographic to show you how the whole thing works. It all centers around your context database. So this is the thing that you're building up. This is all about your audience, your customers, and these are the people, your tribe, if you like, for your brand, that you need to own and totally be communicating with, and having them following you. So from your contacts database, the main thing from there, HubSpot allows you then to do content creation that's relevant to them, landing pages which help them identify products and services that you offer and then convert them, email and lead nurturing to bring them into your website and then continue to communicate with them, SEO, which is obviously very important. A lot of we still search today on Google and through the internet, so your SEO has to be optimum results so that people can find you. The marketing analytics, so you can find out, well, what is really working on my site, what's working well, what isn't working on my well, and how I can sort of turn them on and off. And then marketing automation, which is obviously very important, how you tile this together so it's almost a set and forget. You let it all work for you, and then just sit back and see the results. And then finally, and obviously not last, is social media and how that all interrelates to interaction with your customers. So we'll start off with social media integration just as a bit of a start, and then I'll be handing over to Daniel to take you through a little bit more of the technical side of what happens inside the HubSpot platform. So social media integration. So this is one of the key features and a new addition, if you like, to the HubSpot platform, which is the social media inbox. This allows you to track interactions, conversations, and new followers across all of your social media channels. It also allows you to broadcast out your messaging across those channels via the system, and then obviously monitor how successful they are. So sometimes somebody can come to a website or a blog post and actually see a bit of good content that you've put out there, but then how do you really know if that's shared or how it's kind of tracked from there? With this kind of inbox solution that HubSpot have come up with and the team there, it enables you to be able to give almost a 360-degree view of your interaction across social media channels. There's a lot of color coding that happens on there. This is kind of like showing you the way you can sort of send stuff out, the interactivity on your screen now, composing a message and then allowing that message to sort of go out across the channels, whether it be through the common channels of Twitter, Facebook, and obviously LinkedIn to be able to communicate, and then obviously track what's sort of happening over there. It's important to know context, who you're actually talking to nowadays. Social media marketing is not just about getting your message out there, but it's about getting that message to the right people at the right time. We all live in a mobile world now. 70% of emails, for example, they say are opened on a mobile device. And they could be anywhere. So instead of people traditionally sitting on a computer inside an office, they're probably out and about. So looking at your content or engaging with your social media comments via a mobile device, which could be, a mobile device or a tablet. So you can really see how your messages are performing, and obviously the click-throughs, the retweets, the favorites, the likes, the comments, everything, and how effectively your social media is actually becoming in terms of those channels, which is very, very important today. Scheduling is also important. A lot of our audience now is connected amongst multiple channels, as I showed you that graph before that sort of showed you how complicated the digital landscape is. Scheduling your social media posts is very important. So instead of sending them all out on the same day, as a lot of people do, using the social media inbox platform there with HubSpot, you can actually do all of your social media planning, say on one particular day or on the weekend ahead of the week, but then schedule them to go out at different times during the week. So they actually don't all go out at once and then get bombarded across multiple channels. As you can see here on the screen, you can plan your tweets to go out, your Facebook posts, and also your LinkedIn updates. The color coding is very important, as you can see here, very graphic, and this is what one of the things we love about HubSpot and using it is the graphical interface. The coloring there, as you can see, the green aspect is showing your social media activity. So from a week by week, day by day basis, you can actually see where your activity is in a very visual sense. So the color coding system, and Daniel will go through some of that as well, because in various areas of the HubSpot program, you actually be able to see how this color coding plays an important part. So finally, just to kind of wrap it all together, this gives you and your sales team a complete 360-degree view of your leads. So where they are on social media and what they're connecting with, how they visited your sites, what pages they've been on, how they've engaged with you, and lead scoring, which we'll talk about as well. So for once, marketing is actually results driven. So you really have a complete analytical profile of how effective. So gone are the days where you say 50% of your marketing is working and the other 50% you don't know if it is or isn't. Nowadays, if you use a platform like HubSpot and take on the inbound methodology, you really know how well your marketing is performing. And if it isn't, you know how to adjust it quickly. So Daniel's going to take over now and take us under the hood of HubSpot.
Thanks, Tony. Good morning, everybody. I'm going to run you through, first of all, the main features of HubSpot. So we're going to start out here with the website management. Now, a lot of CMSs on the market out there still require you to do a little bit of coding here and there to get your pages up and running. I work in HubSpot every day, and there's no need for that. It really is a drag and drop or a simple 1-2 clicks to get your website content up and running. The formatting tools and everything in there, I'd say, are simpler to use than Word itself. You can just jump right in there from a novice user all the way through to an expert and leverage all the power of the platform on doing your landing pages and completing your whole website. A website, though, is only as good as the performance of the pages itself. So that's where this page performance tool comes in. It's a module that's built into HubSpot, and it's really tightly integrated with your pages. As you can see here, it does the SEO work for you. So no longer do you have to understand SEO or know all the details about SEO. This tool will tell you what to optimize, but it won't just tell you, it'll tell you how to optimize it. So you can go through and make those pages and your whole website work really effectively for you and making those visitors into a customer and a lead from you. Coming on to prospects here. So this is another tool in HubSpot that allows you to see when people are accessing your website for your sales team, for example, before they become a subscriber. These are people who you don't know about, but we can take a fair guess based on their IP. That's always tied to a physical location. So if your IP is tied to your street address and your business is registered to that address, we can have a fair guess that someone in that business is going to be looking at your website. As I said, for the sales team, this allows them to enter into markets that you might not be thinking about. look at what trends in the market are looking at your website and your services, and even perhaps cold call or devise campaigns with the marketing team around areas that you might not have identified yet, but could be a real pivotal place for you to invest your money and get a big return. On returns, the calls to action is a tool that's in HubSpot that allows you to build, as I said, calls to actions nice, quickly, and easily. Now, a call to action is a grab. It's a button or a tile or something on there that's going to grab your users, your visitors, and convert them into leads. So take them to another page, to another form, to another offer. These work across the board on the landing pages, your site pages, and all the way into email and across all devices. One key thing to remember with HubSpot is it's natively responsive. So all that tricky responsive or multiple websites with your mobile and your desktop site, that's all been redundant with HubSpot. You make one page and one website and the whole thing comes together nice and neatly. You also have the ability to send out emails which are device friendly and program friendly. So people using Macs and PCs, webmail, iPhones, all the way through your tablets and iPads, they're all going to get the emails and they're all going to look really, really good, which keeps your message nice and clear and on brand, which is a key thing when you're doing this marketing. It has to be on brand so that you can convey your overall message nice and cleanly. Now, the landing pages are direct pages that people come through based on a campaign. These pages should be offering your visitors and something that they can take back from you in exchange for some information that you're asking for. So the landing page tool is really quick and simple to use. It allows you to build things up, as I've said earlier, with no code. Your images are now can come in there, and there's an inbuilt image editor in HubSpot. It was only released about a month or two ago. No longer do you have to even get your graphic designers or jump into another program that you have to figure out to get your images up there. You simply upload your image that you want in there, and then you can resize it, tweak it, do whatever you need to do to get it spot on so that you can get those conversions. Speaking of conversions, all this has to happen on a form. So the form builder, again, no code required. You quite simply pick the fields that you want, and then you place them in the form. The cool thing about HubSpot is the fact that it has smart forms. Now, a smart form is unique to HubSpot in respect that once we understand something about a customer, so for example, I've been to your website and I fill in my first name, last name, and email, no longer am I going to be going back there and having to fill it in again. You already know that about me, so let's ask some new information. What's my marketing goal? Where are my pain points in the market? And what services am I interested in? This information is something that you can leverage later on in the sales funnel, in the sales process, talking to people so that you can nut out the services that are best addressing their issues and give them what they want, give them a solution. Now, the contacts database is where all this information is stored. The contacts database allows you to see the lifeline, or sorry, the timeline of all your contacts that you've made in there. In our example here, you can see that Andrew's been looking at web pages as well as emails, clicking on things and opening them, as well as filling in some forms. This was also synced across many different programs. If you have Salesforce, for example, you can sync your Salesforce in. Further information about the customer is also included in there. So the list that they're included in, the workflows that they're in. These are things that automate your marketing for you. Now, list management. The list management is a way to, I suppose, segment your database. It allows you to perform actions on large chunks of your database as well. So first of all, on segmentation, no longer do you just have a static list. Smart lists in HubSpot, again, a unique feature to HubSpot, automatically update based on user interactions with your website as well as information that you put in. So if you want to have a list of everyone who visited your page within the last 3 months, you can do that. It'll automatically update every single day with all the people who are coming and going from your website. This allows you to keep in touch with those people who are real keen with your services, evangelists of your products, or just people that you want to talk to in the sales process further down the track. You can also automate functions off of this using the workflows. Now, email marketing is the sort of marketing that we're going to be sending out mostly from HubSpot. It's still the most effective digital marketing these days. Even though most people get a lot of emails, they're still going to be opening a lot of emails. And they're going to be listening to your messages. Because remember, inbound marketing is about attracting those people who are interested in your services from the get-go. So they're already keen to know what services you have on offer and what your message is, how you're going to help them solve a problem. Oh, it's not. No. Excuse me, sorry, my clicker is not working. There we go. Now, workflows. This is where the real power of the HubSpot engine resides. A workflow basically automates your marketing for you. So as we can see in the example here, we're sending out emails in the first step, and then 10 days later, we're sending out a second email. Having used this, as I said, pretty much every single day, this is where you can save time and money down the track because you no longer have to manage all your marketing and helping those people through the sales funnel that you have set up. If they're coming to you as a cold lead, you can send them out some information. The offer might be something as simple as an ebook or just to unlock a webinar, something like that. And then as you get information from them, you can nurture them through the sales funnel with automated workflows. Find out what they're interested in, send them follow-up offers, send them other things that are interesting along the lines of the services that they've inquired about. This is where inbound marketing works because you're not having to go out there, pay money to publish your message and just shout at the audience. You're sending out targeted contextual information that people are interested in that you can then bring back and use to better address what they might want from you and things like that. Yep. Now, the marketing dashboard. This is the overarching tool of HubSpot itself. In here, you can see all of your marketing efforts and how well they've been performing over the past month, as well as comparing them to any set period that you want. It goes beyond a normal CMS reporting tool because it allows you to measure all of your marketing against specific goals and against personas. Now, as Tony mentioned, a persona is an identifiable person that you're marketing to for your services or products. As I said, you can see how you're performing against those personas as well as the goals that you've set. And that way you can definitely see the return on investment for all your marketing spend. No longer do you have to guess where all your money is going. You can see how it comes in. There's also a campaigns tool within HubSpot that allows you to nut things out per campaign, not just overall. And in there, you can see how any marketing spend, say on Google AdWords or LinkedIn, as well as social media messages, how effective have they actually been? How effective has your communication been? That sort of return on investment is key to the reports and the end result. It's all delivered back to you in HubSpot. Now, so the sources report here, as you can see, nuts out quite detailed where all your traffic is coming from. The color coding that Tony mentioned earlier is continued throughout the site, so you can see those connections with how people are coming to your website, what they're doing, and what sort of customer type or lead lifecycle stage they're sitting in here. All the reports in there are customizable based on time of year. You can also develop your own custom ones that go a step further and allow you to compare data across multiple spectrums. Conversions Assist. This is a page or a module within HubSpot that allows you to see what pages are actually performing for you. So difference from the page performance tool. The page performance tool, as I said, really allows you to optimize for SEO and getting people to your page. The Conversions Assist page allows you to see what pages or what aspects of your website, email included, are converting your visitors into subscribers and leads, opportunities, and finally into customers. That's the key thing about a website. You could have a beautiful website out there that lots of people are coming to, but if no one's coming to it and converting, it's essentially just a big brochure on the web that no one's using. Inbound marketing shows you that lead all the way through people just coming to your website as a visitor, down to subscriber, lead, opportunity, all the way to a customer. And Conversions Assist is really effective in understanding what pages and what items on this page are making people convert into customers for you. Event Analytics is a special tool for enterprise clients, and it's incredibly powerful because it allows you to nut out exactly such activities that individuals, as well as people on a whole, are doing on your website and figure out how people are, in this example here, are being converted to a lead. So you can put these in your website. It's just a simple piece of tracking code, essentially, but it allows you to now pinpoint places along the workflow, the visitor flow, that convert people and allow people to do any other actions. It's also extendable so that you can do it off your own website in an app, say on your phone app, or on a different website. Any other thing you might be thinking of doing online, this is where the Event Analytics ties it all together and brings all your marketing effort into HubSpot. Competitor Analysis is a tool that analyzes your competitors. In the graphs there, you can see that we've got a quick sort of nut out there, but the competitors are all ranked in open source information. So you could go onto Google, you could count where your competitors sit in their rank. You could go onto the mods site and see what mods rank they're all getting, but that's going to take you a lot of time. So the competitor analysis allows you to combine all that information together and analyze where you sit against your competitors. And also, the key thing is here, see when your competitors might be activating some of their marketing. If you see a sudden spike in one of your competitors' activities, you might want to have a look at their website, have a look at their paid per advertising. You could see that they've invested heavily in a certain ad word. They're looking at a new service that they're going to be going after. And that's where you can address that thing before you get left behind in the market.
Okay, thank you very much, Daniel. So once again, we've sort of given you a scratch surface of this very, very powerful platform. So apologies if it's sort of all at you. We are recording this, so anybody that needs to have a look at it afterwards, we'll send you a link to that. If you'd like to use your question format there, just please type in a question now. We're going to be answering questions in a few minutes' time, particularly on anything you've seen of interest that you'd just like to know a little bit more of. We have a few attendees on the webinar today, so if you do have any questions on anything Daniel's just covered that you'd just like to know more of, please type your question in now into the questions bar that you've got on the control panel. Just quickly looking at HubSpot and some of the other options out there for marketing automation programs, because it's all about, really to do this properly, you've got to have a piece of software that does it for you. This is HubSpot versus another competitor called Marketo. We've had a few clients we've worked with. We chose HubSpot over Marketo for a number of reasons, and one of which was the usability that we found, not only for us as marketing agency people, but also for our customers, because obviously it's a piece of software is no good if you can't use it amongst your whole team. The actual back-end training ability that HubSpot delivers is fantastic. There's lots of other webinars, there's videos, there's a whole training module that sits behind HubSpot. So getting people onboarded onto the HubSpot program amongst your whole team is very easy, very quick. And we can say, because we've gone through it ourselves, right through to obviously being able to design and build on the HubSpot COS program. Some of the others, there's quite a few actually sort of marketing similar products or other products out on the marketplace. There's a few there. Again, I can send you links. This is a company called G2 Crowd that actually looked at and analyzed the marketing automation software that's out there and researched it for us, and then gave us basically scores. HubSpot sort of had 255 reviews and came up quite well against some of the others. So some of which we've come across. I mean, Marketo I mentioned before. Silverpop is another one down the bottom there. But again, some do part of what HubSpot does. HubSpot for us seems to deliver everything in a complete platform. And nowadays, I think the way we're moving is to have type of one solution that does everything for us from marketing, rather than having to log on to multiple platforms. These were the main three, just as a quick review. Again, this is by Trust Radius, another independent research group that sort of looked at a whole range of areas around HubSpot, Marketo, and Silverpop. There's a link I can send you to this where you can actually go to and type in any one of that from that list if you're looking at other platforms to compare. And it gives you the review based on a whole variety of things, but certainly performance, in-person training, use, or a whole bunch of things which are relevant to your organization.
And if I may add just there, Tony, that the reviews you see on screen there, HubSpot's being ranked by 111 users. It's got a really passionate and growing data user base, whereas Marketo and Silverpop are 49 and 29 users respectively. And with a larger number of reviews, you'd be expecting a lower average, except HubSpot comes out on top every time. And that's the sort of feedback that we're getting from our customers.
Yes, very good, and certainly, yeah, we're finding it. We believe in using it for ourselves, and we have done for about a year now. Last thing just to touch on before we look at questions for you and answering those is the connectability with the APIs, and Daniel might add some more to this, but there's a few of the main ones people use. Obviously, tracking what you do in the marketplace in terms of your sales funnel. There's Salesforce, Sugar CRM, a couple of those. All of these and a whole bunch of others. Basically, I think in a nutshell, if I'm not sort of putting it out there too much, Daniel, is if there's an open API with a particular piece of software, there's a good chance that will connect with HubSpot.
Indeed. So if you have another program out there that you're looking at either before in the sales process or maybe afterwards in terms of like a job management or delivery management or something, an open API allows you to connect with HubSpot's open API really, really simply. The benefit also is that Zapier, the quick little program that sends a zap, and the zap basically is an action based on one program doing something. It then tells another program to do something. HubSpot's connected really tightly with Zapier as well. So Zapier's got hundreds of different programs it connects with, and that allows you, as I said, to automate anything coming in of HubSpot and out of HubSpot with any other program on the market.
Fantastic. So your questions, if you'd like to type any other questions, we're going to start looking at those questions shortly. But just to wrap up, for really what we've sort of shown you today is the inbound marketing methodology and how HubSpot helps you automate the marketing. In a nutshell, it's around thinking of your marketing as a funnel, from top of the funnel at the very top. And that's when you're getting lots and lots of visitors coming to your website. So they're really just searching. They're Google searching. They're looking for a similar service to you. They actually have a pain point that they may or may not be aware of, and they're searching, but they're top of the funnel. They're not converting at that stage. So HubSpot allows you to have content for those people to help convert them, move them down to what we call the middle of the MOFU, or the middle of the funnel, which is where we want to see case studies, and we want to see a little bit more content information that's kind of relevant now to us making a buying decision. Right through to the bottom of the funnel, which is obviously where we want to get them when they're now analyzing, why do I need to come to your company versus somebody else? So there's a whole bunch of sort of areas around there. So how you fit your marketing offers into the marketing content and the buyer journey is really what inbound's all about, and that's why it's so successful. So just before we move on, just to Connor, we have a few questions on this. So 1 second, we'll just have a look at that. So we just open that. So hopefully, as I say, just as we look at the first question here, we will be going into, as I say, further webinars, which will keep you updated with, where we'll go into particularly different areas like social media, and we'll just spend a whole half an hour together on different areas of the inbound marketing methodology. So first question is, what sort of support does HubSpot offer? Daniel.
So HubSpot itself offers support both on the phone and through email contact. Their support is based in both Dublin and Boston, so the US and over in Europe. Yep. And it's there for you when you need it. It allows you to do not just the technical stuff, but also the end user stuff. Brand Manager, as we're an Australian partner, we're offering support as well, which means that during office hours in Australia, where Boston and Dublin are offline, you can contact us and we'll help you out directly there. We also provide the services that allow you to train. So get the certifications that you might need to move forward, certify your team, and get everyone up on speed inside your organization.
Excellent. So please feel free, if you do have any questions, please type them in now. We're happy to answer anything around inbound marketing or HubSpot or anything you might have on your mind. If it's very new to you, then any question. No, there's never a wrong question in these webinars. They're really just here, and we're doing this as part of a just getting the message out there, because we really believe in not only inbound marketing. I've been involved for over 20 years in advertising and marketing, and this has been the biggest shift I've seen in the time I've been doing it to move. We moved into the digital age. Inbound marketing is certainly the way to go. If you're not doing it now, you need to be planning to do it. So we're happy to share whatever we can. So please type in any questions. Another question here is, how do I implement HubSpot? Do I purchase it online? Good question, because I actually have a slide on the screen there for you where you can actually schedule a demo of HubSpot's marketing software. So you'll see on your screens there is the web address for offers.hubspot.com/demo. And the guys at HubSpot will actually contact you to organize a free 30-day, I think, demonstration of how the software works. Obviously, we're happy to help out with that as well. And certainly if it's something you're ready to move on to, you can move forward. On the HubSpot website, there's all the pricing for you. So again, it's one of the other things we like about HubSpot is all the pricing's up front. So you know what the investment is. There's no, sales team or kind of hidden kind of layers you've got to go through to find out how much this solution costs or your investment. So starting at around $200 a month is the entry level for the to get on board with HubSpot. You can start with just a as we say to some clients that are just kind of, I suppose, testing the water and getting involved, not putting the whole website on board, is to look at maybe your homepage and landing pages relevant to your products and services, and also your contact page. Just get those main interactive pages on the platform to start using it, and then gradually migrate your whole website across.
And on the demos, if you do decide to start up a demo, I thoroughly would recommend doing so, because you can see the tools that I covered today in a lot more detail. once you've started up, let me know because I can jump in there and I can help you out with any specific things you might want to be figuring out. For example, a customer recently wanted to know how to do very, very detailed, specific reports on a very large database. So I helped him out. I developed those reports for him all before his trial ended. So he could see that before committing to anything, he was going to get what he wanted out of the software. And he's gone ahead and he's really, really using it to its full potential now.
That's great. So, any other questions? If you do have them, please. We have a question from Anne. Thank you very much, Anne. How many customers do you have around the world? Now, I don't know if that's us or HubSpot. um, we're very focused here in Australia. So our client base is in Australia, across Australia. We have clients ourselves in Perth and Brisbane, Melbourne, and here in Sydney. HubSpot have, as Daniel said, they originally started in Boston. We're actually away to the conference, Inbound Marketing Conference, and again, we'll be sharing a webinar around that when we get back in a couple of weeks. But that's where they started, in Boston. Their office outside of Boston, their next office was in Dublin, or is in Dublin. So they've got a big team over there that look after Europe. And just over a month ago, set up the Sydney office. So they do have a Sydney office now, and they're in the process of talking to customers and partners about onboarding people here, more so in Australia, and then Singapore, I think, opens up in the early part of next year. As far as customers are concerned, and numbers, do you?
I don't know exact numbers either. Obviously, as HubSpot, like if you were to come on board with HubSpot, you would be treated confidentially. So HubSpot aren't prepared to share their exact customer base with everybody. There are case studies on their website where you can see people from not-for-profits, enterprise, all the way down through to individual sole traders and the effectiveness and the results they've been getting with it. One thing that Tony might have forgotten is that we do serve some customers overseas. I personally am dealing with customers over in the UK and New Zealand, and one or two in the US. Those customers have come to us because HubSpot is a global community and everyone on there helps each other out. So you're never sort of just left behind without like joining the crowd and everything. People are there to help you out. And the resource in Australia that we have here is like the office opening up and having ourselves here as partners means that you also aren't left out in office hours in Australia. People around the world don't just go, oh yeah, we'll get back to you in an email. We're always here during office hours. We're here to help you out.
Next question, sort of leading on from that, is do you have any on-the-ground help to get this going for my business? Well, one of the things to add to that is once, obviously, setting up HubSpot, so as we mentioned before and on your screen now, is to be able to do the trial. To if you really want to jump in and get onto that. There's also on the HubSpot website, there's various different videos you can watch to learn a little bit more about it. But we also have once every probably couple of months here in Sydney and around the world, they have the HubSpot user group, or nicely named HUG events, which is where all new users or potential users of the HubSpot program all get together to share their experiences. We normally get a couple of guys coming in doing some talks on there. Daniel and I are normally at those events. They're held in the city here in Sydney. So we'll certainly send out information to you about the next HubSpot user group event, which should be scheduled for early October. But certainly, as Daniel said, just to reiterate, certainly there's plenty of support, which is why we love being part of that program. And so just moving on to, are you sending out copies of the slides, Anthony? Yes, we are. I'll be sending out copies of the slides and also a link to the recording of our webinar today. So if you need to just play it back, certainly, as I said before, Daniel sort of went sweeping through all of the content in there, but we will have more detailed webinars on different issues sort of coming up. So I don't know if we've answered all those questions.
I think we might have.
So just to kind of finish up, if you'd like to know more about how we can help with HubSpot, please feel free to go to the URL that's on your screen now, which is hubspottraining.com.au. There you'll find, and again, something we believe in and HubSpot does is just all the pricing and what's included in terms of packages are all up there. So I think from a marketing kind of perspective, it's good to know what's my investment, what am I going to be looking at. So here you'll find two options there that we have online at the moment, which is around setting up your website from a basic website through to an enterprise, which is a bigger size website. And then also the ongoing support we can have, because obviously writing content is the key to making inbound successful. We have a content division that, and we work with clients to help you firstly work out who your buyer personas are, because a little bit more than just a demographic. We're doing some training in Melbourne tomorrow for a client about how to really knuckle down on who their buyer personas are, and then from there we help write content, blog posts, social media, all of that kind of stuff. So we can help you as much as you need us to, or just train you. So we will be releasing soon some training packages as well, which will be on that site. So if you just keep an eye on hubspottraining.com.au.
Yeah, and it goes beyond just training, as I was saying earlier. It goes into the certification. So HubSpot provides certification levels that get your team up to speed and get yourselves up to speed as well. We can do that certification. We're doing that training. We can also do workshops, which mean that you don't get left with the training. Training gives you the tools, but you have to go do the work. The workshops take that a step further, where you're being trained, you're learning how to use HubSpot, and you're learning inbound methodology, but we're applying it to your situation. So your end result will be, for example, a 12-month marketing campaign ready to go, where you'll have your personas nutted out, all done within a certain time period. There's no coming back to it. There's no homework to do afterwards. It's a workshop for half a day, or even shorter if needs be, and it gives you a result at the end.
Well, fantastic. Thank you again for your time. I know we're all busy people, but really appreciate you joining us for our first webinar today, Transforming Your Marketing with Inbound and Automation. Our details are on screen there. Please feel free to drop us an email to Daniel or myself. Connect with us, obviously, on LinkedIn, and our phone number's there, or check us out on the web. So thank you for your time, and we'll keep you informed with the next coming webinar, and also send you copies of the slides and a link to the recording from today's webinar. But from myself and Daniel, have a great day, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys.